they're good enough players, they're just gonna win. Like they are that case. But like if you put them up against a tier two esque team with a similar level of draft, will Alliance look like a tier one executing team? Like, is that what they're gonna look like? And S4 obviously quite capable of guiding them as a captain, and we've seen them have success this year with players like with Nico Baby Limp and Hanskin. So I I'm skeptic in the sense that they haven't proven anything to me with any of their games.
Even though they're 3-3 game
Yeah.
score, 1-1 match score.
It's not because of their doing, really. I don't have a better way to describe that. So I'm like watching this game with virtually no information going in for myself. I'm like, I have no idea what to expect.
But it's feelings more towards the drafting side of things. And,
yeah.
and that kind of leads to two questions then. Is it a matter of them trying to get a foothold on what they think the meta is,
I think
and they're trying to make it work, or is it something else, I guess?
Hanskin said it in the interview. He said, like, since they added this band, since they've got a new captain, since they, like, want to figure out what roles to prioritize and what order, there's just a lot of variables that have been added to the equation that he's like, yeah, we just gotta kind of, he didn't say this exactly, but we just gotta iron out the kinks, you know? We gotta figure out where we fit into this meta, where we fit in as a team. And I can kind of see that in the drafts, right? Some of them just fall together great, and some of them just flop. So,
yeah, and I think it's like S4. While he is a TI winner and a great player, you're still new to the captain role, and you're new to that's the biggest thing. Like, this team was already a team before, right? Like Limp, Nico, Baby, and Hanskin, they already had an idea of how they wanted to play Dota. You bring in a completely new captain who I'm sure they all respect, and all of a sudden it's like you have these mix of ideas, and you're trying to just add them together to the best possible thing, but you're subtracting stuff here and there, dividing stuff, multiplying, the whole math.
Sounds like a lot of
PEMDAS
math.
Yeah, a lot of PEMDAS, yeah.
Now, I thought I heard from production. I feel bad because I didn't quite hear who it was, but we may be getting Aragon from Spirit is going to be joining us in a pre-game interview. Is he ready now? Are you there? Oh, it's a media piece. I'm sorry. I'm getting all the little footnotes now. It sounds like we have a media piece to show a bit more about Team Spirit. Let's check it out.
Anton is a fresh blood player. He has a good micro, but his macro is not good enough. So we spend a lot of times to explain him some stuff. Vaser brings to us a lot of ideas, and we trying them during the scrims. Also, we're playing a lot of scrims, trying to find out our weaknesses, trying to fix it, and also just trying to improve ourselves. When we passed through the close qualifier to the major, it was my first big tournament. I felt a lot of pressure on me, and I learned how to deal with it. Also, we played a lot of scrims with tier 1 teams, and saw that they are on the other level of Dota compared to us. It shows us that we need to try hard more to become a good team. About my carry, LTV was an experienced player, and I learned a lot from him. I feel thankful for that. When we parted ways, we started looking for a new carry. We noticed Anton from pubs and official games as a high MMR player. And we understood that he is talented and very perspective. I believe that the synergy between the players are most important. And sadly, we can't find it with Non-Gratter and Ghostic. However, from the first day when Afterlife joined our team, we understood that our view of Dota is the same. Vasa is a super motivated player, and his energy is helping us to improve ourselves. We showed not the best performance during the season because we had lack of experience and couldn't find the right way how to play. Now we have changed in roster, and with 2 new players, I think we can perform the best in the tournament.
Yeah, shouts, of course, to Aragon and Team Spirit for providing that little piece of content and a little bit of insight for their team and where they mentally do stand. Now, gentlemen, he sounds like he's in a pretty good place. They've gotten some new players, some new ideas, and felt that their shortcomings were due to experience and just kind of cohesiveness within the team. I'm trying to bring back some of the past Spirit games. It's been a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but where do you think they stand, and are they, in the spot, would you believe what he said, essentially? Like, do you think you agree with where he finds himself on the team?
I would, because Aragon, I will say, though, he did have the funniest game. They lost, Team Spirit lost a game, and he was 0-0-0. Obviously, pretty funny if something like that happens, but it does happen. But I do believe, because they did have a very experienced carry player in ILTW, like you said, and now you have a player who has played on a competitive team for 2 months or less, and pardon me if I say his name wrong, Dyruk Yo, Anton, as he was referring to him in the interview, and he has played on Team Con for literally 2 months, and then he was picked up by Team Spirit. And when you have a super new player like that, and you praise him, and you look at him, and you see what he does, I think it is going to be really good, because it seems CIS and EU are doing this way better, where no one really knows this guy. He is new, but he's getting a chance, and it's not just him getting scapegoated. And in NA, that happens a lot. You get a new player, all of a sudden, never mind, he's bad. Oh, let's bring in an old player instead. And I think them, putting them up on a pedestal, in a good way, usually that's a negative term, but they put up their carry on a pedestal, and they're saying, this guy is good, and he is new. I think that's really good. So I'm curious to see how they are. And also, Afterlife, he's always been a beast of an offlaner. So having that experience is really nice.
I think players are realizing that somebody you can mold around your strategy and work with, they'll be open-minded.
Yeah.
You know that they're going to basically promote an environment that the team's looking for. That's much more important than just getting the absolute best player at this current moment. And he was saying it just no hard feelings. It wasn't working between Ghostic and
ILTW.
He said Non Grata.
Non Grata, yeah. So they've been through a lot of those old players.
Yeah, he's just it didn't work. We couldn't really get ourselves on the same page, and that's what's most important. And as a segue, that's what we're looking for Alliance to do in this series is see if they've all gotten on the same page.
Yep, because I think this will be, as you said, the match where it's I think these two teams, from the little we know about them, are going to be pretty close. So,
all right.
I hope it's not just a full-on draft, as we've been seeing with the Lions. Give us some good games. Give us some even drafts.
For sure. I mean, both these teams don't want to feel like they're a revolving door of players. They want to find something that works and establish it and then build to its strengths, of course. All right, so we do have a draft before us. Let's get into it here. A lot of very popular picks. Coddle, obviously, has earned his rightful spot as one of the top 5s in the game right now, so he gets hit with a ban. I mean, it's funny because
he's the god, I think.
They haven't changed a whole lot about him since they brought in the white hole, essentially, and they've done some number tweaks since then. They made Blinding Lights cooldown reduced a bit, but in this last patch, even with Chakra Magic getting the bit of a nerf, it's only 1 second. It doesn't seem too terrible. It's still a very strong hero.
I think the hero just benefited very greatly from the meta. The heroes that go with it really well, such as the Ember, are very popular, and the fact that health regen was so prevalent in all of people's builds. Guess what? If you have health regen, what else do you need?
Mana. Okay, I was like, is this a trick question? Oh, God. Don't mess this one up.
Food? It's almost funny to me because that's the complete opposite of why I think Chen's bad.
Yeah.
You already have health regen on every hero in the game. Why do you need it on? Why do you need a support that gives you health regen? But I do think Coddle just does a little too much and benefited from the meta. This hero is also quite good.
I gotta look. I will after this panel look up the pick ban rate, because this hero has moved up on the tier list from an A hero definitely up to an S tier. We saw it every game yesterday in the OG series as well. And it's just good.
It was Secret mentioning how much they love this hero.
Puppy, give me Furion. I can carry.
He's like,
easy.
give me 5-position carry Furion.
Yeah, every game.
Puppy's exact.
It's funny they still call a lot of people still call him Furion.
Yeah,
that's
one of the ones that you never get away from. Some of the other Lifestealer, Naix. Most people are calling it Lifestealer now, so we slowly got that one. But Furion.
I'm purely based on how many syllables or how long it takes to say. That's all. I say Naix instead of Lifestealer because it's just
quicker,
one syllable, and Furion goes.
When you're yelling at your teammates and Naix, do something. Lifestealer like that. That's an extra 2 seconds. He's already messing up by the time you have the one syllable.
And then he has to process are you talking about me, my hero? Maybe
efficacy of your communication.
Fair enough.
It's all give and take with whether or not the guy's gonna understand how fast you're saying it.
Yeah.
So Witch Doctor and landing against the trees pretty much, and then Pangolier in terms of the game idea. You have Wave Clear, which is super important to draft against Nature's Prophet for obvious reasons, and also gives you that flex pick of maybe you'll get it from the 4, maybe you'll get it from the 3. Let's see what they picking the draft later so that we get more information.
But it's
Ember
at
Spirit,
the point
here we
for Nature's Prophet where they have to dust off heroes like Witch Doctor to help deal with it. It's really at that point.
It feels like people are trying to figure out ways because high base damage, insane laning, insane scaling, and its ulti just feels like it's doing more now because it is.
Well, yeah, it is.
It is.
The 4, 5, 6 per kill creep is pretty big. So what happens if you guys haven't been keeping up? When he ults, it's a longer cooldown, but any unit killed by it gives him bonus damage for 50 seconds out of 85. So he's pretty much got like 65% free damage uptime on that. Sometimes it's only like 10 or 12 damage, but even early game.
It's damage.
Yeah,
free.
It's free damage that he did not have previously. Yeah. And spamming your ulti really just kind of griefed your teammates almost. Like in terms of farm, right?
Pushing the lanes in, rooting it for everyone,
Now
so
it's like a warning shot. Like if you're on the enemy team and you feel Wrath of Nature, you're like, oh god, is he coming? Is he coming?
It hits
you have to watch
hard.
out for it.
We've been seeing like just 500 HP to 0, just like that. Like if you get that last hit of Nature's Prophet Ultimate, like if you're somehow
crazy.
the king of timing it, it is a lot.
Ooh.
Okay.
Another CIS team that is prioritizing Dazzle.
Yep.
I highly doubt it is a 5 position or
it's
I highly doubt it's a Dazzle support. I think Dazzle support has absolutely flopped every single time I've seen it.
And with Witch Doctor, it's like double heal utility already on the team.
It's good in lane versus Ember. It's another lane clearer. Not only is it a lane clearer, but it's also a hero that groups up really well, very quickly, very efficiently. So usually we've been seeing like the Necrobook Greaves kind of build.
Ooh.
All you need on Dazzle this game is Spider Legs, and then you can get out of everything because they have Fissure, they have Sprout. We saw the 5-second cooldown Spider Legs on Dazzle yesterday.
We did. It does reduce that cooldown. That boy is a tarantula at that point. You guys like spiders, like in real life? Or be real? Do you guys stomp spiders when you see them?
Depends. We have like a window spider that helps take care of mosquitoes or anything like that we do like, but I'm also traumatized by like black widows.
Oh,
My parents' garage is like full of them. Like, stay away from me.
Not
Too many
me.
scary movies.
If there's a spider on the ground, boom!
Oh my God.
Stomped. I hate spiders. They just creep me out. I know they're really not going to do anything, but like, why do they look like that? Like,
did you see the movie Arachnophobia?
That's exactly what. I did see that.
I saw it as a kid.
I'm
too.
saying that's exactly what I was gonna say. There's too many scary movies as a kid. That
Harry Potter when they go into the cave, like Hagrid, why do you have those spiders?
Okay, so
Necro,
the
counter
Bristleback.
to Bristle,
So we've seen Bristleback be laying against Ember and do really well. Ember's not that high of armor, and you kind of just bully him eventually. These Embers have usually been going Sleight of Fist chains, so they don't have like that sustain run at you damage that they want against the Bristleback. And then Necro, on the other hand, has also been seeing a lot against Bristleback.
Yeah.
Because you obviously have immunity to physical damage, and then you just like Bristleback's the type of hero that wants to tank up, make it so you can barely not kill him, and
Necro deals with that.
Necro deals with that because if you're below like 30% health, you're just dead. But they do have the Dazzle against the Necro. So what I mean by that is, first off, Necro kind of spams his Q, and he also has his Heartstopper Aura, which wears you down in terms of sustain. But Dazzle actually counters that aspect of Necro. And then he also can grave the Reapers, which is very reliable once you get later levels in the graves. So I think it's good in game versus the Bristle, but they do have the tools on Team Spirit to deal with the Necro.
And this is going to be I'm almost guaranteeing it's going to be a 4 Pango now on Spirit because it is Immersion playing it, and he's one of the OG Pango 4 spammers. And you see the rest of the lineup, and you're like, well, you still have some versatility with Dazzle and Bristle because they can be cores in different lanes.
3-2,
Yeah, but I do believe this Pango 100% is Immersion.
Yeah, it'd feel weird to have your tri-core being Pango, Dazzle, Bristle.
Yeah, something's just a little bit wonky
They
there.
are lacking disables or like they have a lot of
Direct
run-at-you
disable.
stuff, but no actual do stuff heroes. So I don't know how to explain that better, but they do need to pick.
I think, is Centaur in the pool? I like Centaur for Team Spirit.
You're
I think
saying
just
like
getting
carry
anything.
Bristle,
Yeah, I think
Dazzle.
Yeah, something like that. Because I think these CIS teams are playing really well, actually, with the Dazzle. As we said, they were close. It was that 18-minute Cyber Legacy game. They're pushing your base. They take a tier 3 at 18 minutes, but they make one mistake. And in push lamps like that, you make one mistake, you lose. But obviously, in a perfect scenario, you won't make that mistake. So I'm fine with the fast-paced, not true carry.
Kunkka, huh?
Ooh, could they get cheesed?
Kunkka would have been really good.
Spirit, could they cheese it up with Huskar here? The
And
ban on
against
AA, they
Necro's
have
a
a
bit
dazzle.
Yeah, it is the
Oh, yeah,
Necro,
yeah.
but and even actually Quap's ulti kind of dissuades that too. Quap's ulti very good against Huskar. If they didn't pick Quap, honestly, I think you might think of it, even though it's versus the Necro. One counter's not the worst.
Alk or...
I think Alk would be really good here. I actually like Alk a lot. I was thinking about it the second they picked Nature's Prophet, which was really early on in the draft. He kind of just deals with that hero really well, and you have... what I like about Bristle specifically, whenever you're dealing with Nature's Prophet, is that you kind of just serve as a wall, a barrier to pushes. I think it's much better in theory against Chen, because Chen kind of just marches down a lane, while Nature's Prophet usually splits. You know, he'll summon trees in one lane and then TP to help his team in another or something. But right now, they could afford to pick a carry that just needs time, because they do have early wave clear. They have a hero that stands in front of towers. I think it's going to be Bristle's job to defend mid this game. Like, he's just going to make sure they don't lose their mid tower. They're going to... I think Alka would be my premium pick here.
And you get that Abyssal Blade as we're tying out. So you don't have, like, the direct stun, right? You do have just the Witch Doctor, and if you do have the Alk, obviously his stun... Like, I don't even see him use stun anymore half the time. Yeah. But with the Abyssal Blade, I like it. You are just going to have to get through that early to mid, as you said, but... With Pango Bristle, you can defend towers for a long time. It might be a
lane issue, though, is my only thing. You're against, like, Shaker Necro off lane, so the Necro's going to have a good lane balance, and then otherwise your other option is to go mid against Quap. Quap does have no armor against the Acid Spray, but she's also got the dagger against melee heroes. They might have some similar idea to Alk, but the thing about Alk is in these type of games, when your lineup seems like it has a lot of tools but doesn't actually do anything. The hero like Alk does just do everything once he gets his items, so that's the kind of hero you usually want to get. And they go for so that is the whole buy time idea.
I just don't like Anti-Mage as a hero.
Yeah, Anti-Mage is a bit underwhelming as a hero, but I'm going to be honest and say that I think it's a pretty good Anti-Mage.
Game,
It's good against Necro. The lane's going to be a bit rough, I think, at least super early, but I'm going to go with Team Spirit for this draft. I think Alliance is going to try to bat their head against a wall, and they're not going to be able to get past this Bristle Dazzle.
Any change-ups on
is that a Dazzle core?
It is, yes. That's offlane core.
Okay.
So, yeah, it'll be the offlane. Well, obviously, I think Bristle and Dazzle, they can switch lanes, but, yeah.
No, I think
you want in there.
Yeah, I think you want... I don't think you mind Bristle against Quap. Even though it's a melee hero, you spam your quills. You can stay outside of dagger range a lot, and she has really low armor. Yeah, I'm going to go with Team Spirit for this first draft, but I can see that Alliance, like, if they manage to take too much of the map before Anti-Mage gets anything because of this Nature's Prophet, then it's easy game for them, too.
I think Limp is going to have a reasonably free game on this Quap, so I will go the opposite way. I think it is going to be a very 20 to 25-minute S game, though.
All right, so we got one for Alliance, and we got one for Spirit over here. You guys can have your own choices by voting on the Mercedes-Benz MVP, and we'll announce that.
He's talking to you guys.
I don't know who you thought was the best. You at home. Hello, what are you doing in there? Do some push-ups. Do something. It's quarantine time. Yep. In the meantime, enjoy game number one. We'll throw it over now to our casters. We have Capitalist and Blitz.
It's a cold spring morning here in LA, but we're going to have to warm ourselves by the fire of some good Dota, Blitz.
Is it spring right now?
I don't know. I don't know how Los Angeles works because it's always kind of sunny, and then it just gets cold at night. So seasons are a mystery to me in this land. But it's got to be getting close. It's April. Either way, we're going to be getting into some Dota pretty quickly here. Alliance versus Spirit. Preliminary thoughts, sir?
I'm not sure, actually. I guess I'd have to see how it plays out. But normally, as we see in the betting odds favoring Alliance, normally I think the team that wins the lanes in this kind of matchup, like especially against an anti-mage, is just default going to win. Like when BSJ said, well, I think it's a good AM game, but I think his lane's going to be pretty rough, then I'm like, okay, well, then I think that it's no longer a free anti-mage game, but we'll see.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll have to see once we get into the game whether or not Anti-Mage is able to persevere through his laning phase. It is, he does have, counter against the Necrophos. I'm a little bit more concerned about this ball up around the Necrophos, and they're just going to, like, take a bunch of towers. Because this Bristleback is no longer a good tower defender once his, half his HP is cut out of the pool,
They had Shaker, Nature's Prophet, Queen of Pain, Ember Spirit.
Something
Necrophos.
like that, yeah.
That was our lineup versus Dazzle, Anti-Mage, Bristleback, Pango, and Witch Doctor. I don't know. I kind of think they lack instant disable for Ember Spirit. I sort of feel like Spirit should just lose. I think they got outdrafted, but I guess we'll see.
All right. Well, maybe we can take a look in the game. I know we're paused, but
we paused.
It could give us a little bit of look around, discuss some of the heroes, talk about the lanes, all that sort of deal. It's, what should our matchups be?
God, I have to keep balancing this in my head. It's going to be Necrophos plus Shaker off. Ember
against the AM.
Ember NP safe and then quad mid. And then I think it should... I don't know. I feel like Dazzle is okay against... No, I think Dazzle you want to lane against Ember, actually. I think you want to lane Dazzle against Ember.
I was a bit surprised that we were just going to be seeing a Dazzle support after seeing so many Pikachu Dazzles. The Dazzle core looked all right.
I think Dazzle support kind of feels...
I think Dazzle support is pretty poopy.
Apparently it's a good 5 if you just want a lane winner.
Yeah, just for the poison.
And also, you can't pull.
It just feels like you're missing out on a component of the hero when you have this like intense amount of cooldown reduction, and then you just like don't have any items to go with it.
All right. So I know people will say that I'm trying to drop Cloud or something, but I don't cast anymore, so I don't give a shit.
Hell yeah.
Yesterday we scrimmed against the team that we keep playing against for fun.
Yeah.
And I had RTZ come in and play 4 for us. And I was drafting and I was asking him. I figured it's a good time to ask, and he won't really care because we're cross region and we won't see each other for a while anyways. So then I was like, well, I need a 5 here. They picked their safe lane. It was like Mars +1.
Yeah.
He was just like, pick Dazzle or Bat, and I was like, oh, why? And then he said, you want to pick a hero that can just like fight against. It was like Axe plus Rubik. He's like, you want to be able to zone them? So then he suggested Dazzle or Bat because you cannot pull against them. And so his logic was they will have to fight you. So then you have to pick a carry then that will enable you to fight with your 5. So something like, I can't remember what his suggestion was. Okay. But that's like the logic train for when you pick Dazzle or when you pick Bat Rider as a support or as a 5. And hopefully that was knowledge for you guys and you won't just take like the, oh, he mentioned that he knows RTZ thing. Like, I feel like that's good knowledge, right? Like, when you want to know that, maybe you don't. Maybe I just won't bring it up again. But I thought it's interesting, and I didn't know that. So
that is interesting. Dazzle and Bat Rider, huh?
Dazzle and Bat can't fight them. So
what fighting carry did you pick?
I don't know. I had some weird restrictions. We played with Franz, and he said no matter what, he was playing Pugna. And Artur said that no matter what, he's playing Earthshaker. So then I had to pick around an Earthshaker Pugna no matter what. So then it was weird. It wasn't like a real game of Dota.
It's, when you have to get creative with drafting. Hey, we're into the game. Look at that. We can look at some heroes and stuff. That's pretty dope.
I actually think it's the other side that has to deathball. I think Team Spirit has to be able to deathball pretty quickly, too.
Oh, yeah?
Like with Bristle, Pango, Dazzle, and Witch Doctor against a Quap, until your anti-mage gets like Abyssal, how do you kill Quap or Ember?
Yeah. Does feel like they're going to have to stay grouped up just to avoid getting picked off nonstop.
Yeah, and they have no catch themselves. Their best catch this game is Witch Doctor Cask.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And let me say, it's really bad against Nature's Prophet. Because there's just so many things. There's like 18 trains. You have to be so unlucky. I'm saying like Quap and Ember there with like 4 Treants. And if you get permastun, like, congrats to you. You're the best player in the world.
Meanwhile, on the other side, they've got Ember Spirit and Earthshaker, 2 of the better catch heroes out there. I feel like this Anti-Mage, he's going to have to do a lot of split pushing. He's going to have to take some risks.
I don't even hate Necrophos against Anti-Mage that much.
Yeah.
Because you have a mechanic to survive against him, too.
Yeah, and it's not like the Anti-Mage is going to be going Nullifier anytime
He's going to go Abyssal, so unless he, like, Abyssal jumps you, but the point is that hopefully Earthshaker will be there for him to just fissure off. I don't know. I kind of feel like Alliance should win. Maybe Dota's a weird game right now where you can snowball a win in 15 minutes. So it's hard to say if they will win. Like, those are two entirely different things.
And there's going to be some weird things happening in the mid lane because Urgon's going to be doing the pulling.
This is what you typically do when you don't think it's a winnable lane. And as somebody who played this lane before, it's not.
I imagine most melees are in a world of suffering against that. Bunch of Magos and some regen. Urgon's going to be doing this until some support tells him to knock it off. And that's what Earthshaker's going to be doing. Hey, that's our first blood. Well,
did Zibe like DC or something?
I don't know. He was just standing there, right-clicking.
Yeah, and then he didn't even try running back, and then he was dead.
Maybe he just, he just read it, and he was like, well, there's no way I can run away from this damage. Let me just output some damage
Maybe
first.
He was poisoned or something.
Yeah, it could be.
I'm not sure.
Not going for that next wave? No, he's not. Urgon. He's going to miss a wave now. Fisher's still on cooldown, so he could use the healing salve if he wants to, or he's going to... Wait, where is he going? Where are you going, Urgon? Okay, now he's going to hide. Pop his healing salve.
Yes, sir.
I mean, before there was no Fisher. Fisher was on cooldown, so I don't know what kind of damage he could have taken, but... Is it worth it? Like, you miss an entire wave in order to do this creep cutting stuff. So you're missing out on the experience, but you're getting more gold, presumably.
I think it's worth it. You would, otherwise you'd get like half your wave denied anyways.
Yeah.
By Queen of Pain.
Okay.
So I think that's the logic.
And he does manage to snipe the courier. That's Nico Baby's courier. And I believe... No, that's still being drug over from the other side. I was wondering if he was ever going to take the top wave away from... I'd be so mad if I was Emergent and all of a sudden, you know, a wave is just taken by the mid laner. But Urgon's just kiting him around so he can group them up to more efficiently clear them with quills.
I don't actually know if this is worth Limp's time.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I think it's mega not worth. But he wants to, he got this like pretty stick build. He wants to like do something with it.
Sadly, that stick remains rather empty. Well, the top lane Dazzle should be able to put in some decent work. The poison up against the Ember Spirit, and then you throw down some swashbuckle hits as well to prolong that poison even further.
Dude, the Bristle's net worth is so bad. Because he's just buying mangoes. All of his money.
He has to buy a lot of regen in order to keep doing this.
There's always money in the banana stand. There's just, he's bought clarities, mangoes. I guess this is like what he thinks is the best possible option. And it remains to be seen whether it is. And he's getting, like, CS-wise, he's going to look good.
I mean, at some point in time, he can start farming neutrals with these pulls as well, right?
Yeah.
So maybe it'll become more efficient as time goes on. As for at bottom lane, 17-1 compared to the 21-2 of the Anti-Mage, but he's still doing better than our Dazzle. So
this is actually going a lot better than I expected for AM.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I thought that AM would be able to get clicked down. Like, I think if you just block the wave and then you force the AM to like level blink or something under, and then you just hit him like 19 times, doesn't that?
Yeah.
I feel like that's going to be a thing.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Limp's going to find a refill on his bottle because
you're never going to win. You're not going to. What are you going to do doing this? You're not fighting runes. I just thought about like the concept of him going for runes here.
Afterlife going to be in trouble here, and he has no shallow grave. He's going to quickly TP out, but
He's
it's not
dead.
going to be good enough. He's too squishy for all that. A sleight of fist quickly brings him down. Now he's going to have to do the walk of shame back. Immersion, the 4 position, will have to take some of the CS instead. See if he farms up that hard camp for once. Yeah, he's going to try to do it now. Of course, the creeps do not aggro onto that wave, so you're doing it purely with the quills. They can't tank it up for you. Oh, that courier's dead.
He's got it.
Got it.
All right.
That's a
I
big
guess
pickup.
Limp did not know that the quills were going to kill that. That's his boots. This is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, certainly. The boots would have helped him in trying to harass this bristleback and doing all this nonsense. Could allowed him to much more easily move back and throw out a dagger and then back in the lane again over and over again. He's doing a good job CSing under tower. 35-3 despite, all this stuff. He's going to throw out the Sonic Wave. Finally, he's done with Ergon shenanigans. He's got the experience advantage, so he puts it to good use.
I'm not sure what Ergon expected by being there with that low of HP. Like, eventually you were going to get punished for that.
Yeah.
I don't know when, but eventually he was.
Misha shows up to Afterlife's lane to try and help out. They do get an easy kill onto Zibe, and they'll kill some Treants for their time as well.
This is still not a good lane for Afterlife at all.
Sir.
And he's just dead.
Don't take the tower.
All right, Nico Baby's he's a killer. He's not on the win condition in this game, though. I think Anti-Mage is. Like, it's a better AM game than it is a Ember game, but this AM has to also be, like, very slotted.
Yeah.
All right, they're
Misha's
just feeding him kills.
Afterlife's dead. What's going on in this top lane?
They're 2v3ing and winning.
It's a one disable lane.
But that disable...
apparently it's just slaughtering
It's
them.
too much.
It's killing all of them. They're all dying.
Don't think about it too much. Just kind of let it happen.
All right, just roll with the punches here. An early earn for Nico Baby.
Nico Baby's massive right now.
Yeah, he's going to have a very fast Spirit Vessel. And that is going to make the game so much harder for the Bristleback, which so much of this Team Spirit lineup depends upon.
And my question here is, like, this is most likely, just judging by how Alliance plays, going to be a safe lane Ember Spirit. If that's the case, like, and you had, I think they, how many picks did they have to address it? Didn't they second pick it? Wasn't it NP Ember or something? I feel like you had enough time to address it for sure.
Yeah. Going forward, trying to do some damage. They're going to take all the mana from S4 now. Good Fisher is going to allow S4 to walk some distance away, but he will eventually tick out. They did not give it to the Anti-Mage. Misha took it instead.
Now Zippy's here.
Oh, this is going to be potentially big rotation from Limp. They only get the one kill, though. The AM did have his blink back up. 2K net worth for Alliance, but the mid tower is going to be sacrificed for it. It looks like it's been taking a lot of damage from all of the pulling that Ergon was doing. Over the top lane, Afterlife, who's only level 4 against Nico Baby 6. It's a rough time out there. Nico Baby, he's going to try and go for that kill. He misses the slight. Nice dodge by Afterlife, moving up and to the left.
Yeah, but still a cool move by him to try to put some pressure on. And the regen rune gets canceled too by Limp.
Yeah.
Well done. Did he deny the tower?
That's a good question. Misha kills S4 again. They are struggling in that bottom lane.
They did not get the tower deny. He does cancel the regen rune, which is more than anything just tilting.
Yeah.
Like, I would just be kind of annoyed right now. I don't even know if the tower's worth it at this point.
But it was like a big play that Ergon was able to take that mid tower so early. You said part of their lineup is going to have to death ball at some point. So.
Yeah, that's why I'm not the biggest fan of not Limp's rotation towards bottom. I think you only make that if Zibe's willing to go mid and pull the creep wave off the tower.
Yeah.
If that's not the case, I think Limp's job, his real job, is to keep the creep wave going in mid lane. I talked about it with some people that I was trying to teach Dota to, and I was saying, like, it's not about whether or not you lose mid tower. It's like what the enemy has to invest to get it, and them just investing a bristle, just right-clicking it to death.
Yeah.
It's not that big of an investment. So I would say even though the gold is slightly in favor of Alliance, this game is slightly in favor of Spirit, because now they've opened up a large portion of the map. If they can get this top tier 1 tower, the Anti-Mage will have all the space in the world to farm everywhere. And so what I'd like to see from Alliance is actually, for once, I'd like to see people to defend this tower.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they will go for. I think this is why Nico Baby is playing so aggressively up at top.
I mean, defending your safe lane tower is more advantageous when you've taken the enemy off lane tower too, right?
Yes, sir.
Because there's less TP points to be able to work around and such. It's more punishing when they're pushed back.
And Misha's just dead.
Misha's dead, and the pressure commences from Alliance, but we're going to have Animage jump forward, steal some of the mana away from Hanskin. Nico Baby's not going to let up, though. Misses out on the chains. A little awkward there. Afterlife searching for somewhere to recover, it seems like.
Why would he need to recover? He's so farmed.
He's below S4 in net worth. Not quite level 6 yet, as we are about to hit that 10-minute marker. Wonder if he's going to ask for the tome.
Does he deserve it, though? Oh, he's dead.
Yeah. Oh, if they can actually just block him up a little bit more. Where's S4?
I thought he had to block.
Where's the Reaper Scythe? Oh. Too bad.
S4
S4 is not level 6 either. Boy,
I thought he had the block, though,
suffering.
On the tree.
Yeah.
That would have been cool. No, for some reason, I thought Limp might be there, too.
Urgon's going to hard defend his safe lane tower as well, it seems. So they've got similar ideas here.
It's more problematic, though, that they can't do anything to this Ember Spirit who's pushing.
Yeah.
And realistically, what can they do, Cap?
No stuns.
Yeah, if you have no stuns, let me say.
Rolling Thunder, that's one of their stuns, but they're trying to chain it onto Limp right now, but he's going to be able to blink away before he's found. Swashbuckle forward, maybe? Oh, Diraki's looking for it. They have the Swashbuckle, but no lucky shot procs to slow him down long enough, and a Fisher to intercept. Animage will not be able to use his big ultimate. He was ready to go.
A 10% chance maybe if AM gets the vision there and he gets his Mana Void off, he dies, but nice fissure from Hanskin to absolutely ensure that Limp does not die for that. That would have been a pretty big kill for the AM. And Nico Baby, he just continues to get bigger and bigger. He's unimpeded. I really like that he just really aggressively took that top tower and he forced everyone out of it.
Yeah.
At that point, nobody wants to go up there, and so the mid defense happens. But I think this rotation mid is really nice and game winning. He's giving his team a better chance by putting pressure on this mid wave because he knows nobody wants to come gank him. It's a waste of time, and most likely you'll die. But somebody's got to be here, and I'd like to see them just group up as 3, defend this tower, and then have Anti-Mage come back in.
What's our Queen of Pain's skill build, by the way? Because it should be maxed out Blink by now, yeah.
And
so there's another really mobile hero.
Yeah, look at this. You want to defend this tower. This is like one of the few games where I think you really don't want this tower to die.
And they do have the Reaper sign. Lay it out on Urgon here. Easy kill for S4. Bit of recovery for him, and a timeout for the Bristleback.
Because now you can force this anti-mage into his own jungle / bottom.
Yeah.
And if you get a ward down, you're going to limit most of the space that he has. Because Bristle isn't a typical space creator. Bristle's like the kind of space creator that farms and pushes out waves, which is exactly what anti-mage wants to do. So there's some overlap here. And Limp with the nice combo gives him no time to react with the shallow grave. Easy peasy.
Well, his core Dazzle might as well be support at this point.
Yeah. And I think Nico Baby, I know I talked about him a lot, but I want to highlight this move. Like, he's skipping the wave, and he's drawing as much attention here as possible. And he started to realize, like, nothing can touch him.
Yeah.
So why not just do this? Why not abuse your position as the strongest hero in the game? I think a lot of people or carries would just be farming their jungle right now. But he's putting pressure on the map for his team, which I think is really effective.
Now he's going to come down to the bottom lane. Unfortunately, he's too late. Now he's out of mana, so he's got to be careful. Does have some bottle charges, plus 12 magic wand charges in there as well. So
yeah, they're up 4K, and we talked about how the meta is so snowbally, and you've got to be careful here. I think Anti-Mage got to be careful.
And now he's going to be Spirit Vassal. They do have Misha to be able to come in, and the cast, it's actually going to bounce back onto him with the Death Ward out. Nico Baby is the one who dies instead. A bit unfortunate that that RNG of that last cast bouncing out really screwed him there.
That was quite the gold pickup. They gained 1,200 gold for that.
Holy crap.
Don't build streaks.
Yeah,
you know what I'm going to start doing? I'm going to, if I'm a 5, I'm just going to start running down lanes.
Start suiciding, yeah.
And
you get 2 kills, time to die.
Game's done. That's pretty insane.
It's kind of a weird time in Dota right now. 6,600 net worth for the Queen of Pain. Ember Spirit at 5,900. Behind him, the Animage and Bristleback. Both the offlaners suffering, but S4 is actually given space to be able to farm up. So his game will recover. I feel like Afterlife's won't.
And if you're wondering why Ergon is pushing out this top wave, it's because he realizes he needs to create this space for Anti-Mage. And I'd like to see Alliance just keep doing this. Because they're not going to bring... eventually, they're going to have to bring 4 heroes to do this. They really don't want to. But if you keep killing Ergon like this, it's going to be worth it for you.
And now even though he was dead, they used the Reaper Scythe. Put him on Death Timer for a little bit longer.
Yeah. Like, he's the real hero you want to pressure out. Because the Anti-Mage is hard limited by the amount of farm until that tower gets taken.
Limp, he's going to blink into this one, but immediately they have the Rolling Thunder out with the Maledict. Is going to come back. The Sonic Wave pushes the ball to the side here. Limp is going to be able to blink finally and dodge it. Immersion jumps to the other side here, goes for a quick TP out. Do they have the damage? Do they have to disable? They do have the chains, and Limp will pick up the kill.
I think they're just getting ran over a little bit too hard right now.
Yeah.
Alliance are doing a very good job of pushing the tempo, aside from that like one kind of silly death by Nico Baby at bottom where they outplayed him. The rest of their heroes are getting pretty good farm. Something funny, by the way, about S4's build. I noticed a lot of Necrophoses, they like to get the treads, but then they'll get mech. But you're hard limited because you can, like, if you want to get Greaves, I feel like it's just a waste of gold.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm always down to see the double boot slots, but it seems like a 250 gold inefficiency.
Orchid, Spirit Vessel, so many things to be able to deal with Ergon, but he's still able to tank through most of it, and he still has the 20 magic stick charges. He's got to wait for that Spirit Vessel to fade away, though, to really make good use of it. And they will not have the damage to chase him down. This time
got
it
him
works,
real low, though.
because he does have his team behind him.
All right, so I think they should 4-man and push top. Would be my, Dr. Bliss's recommended solution. Not a doctor, by the way.
Seven to 12, 6,000 net worth leads. We spot the ward on the high ground. Are they going to go for that push top? It looks like Afterlife's like, I finally got my Necronomicon. Let me just farm. But they need a space to be able to do so, because the more farm they take on their side of the map, the less the Animage has to work with.
Everybody farm.
Maybe Animage is going to join them. He's got his Battle Fury, though.
No. Let him farm. He's the real farmer. This is where the timer really begins now for Alliance.
Yeah.
Anti-Mage's Battle Fury. What can you do during this time period? Because you are playing 4v5. In fact, it's more like 1v4v3. I don't know. Ergon just kind of dies.
Yeah. It feels like he doesn't have too many allies to help him out.
Oh boy. And Limp already has an Orchid, so Anti-Mage has to be careful. And they continue to defend that top tower. If you cannot defend your mid tower, defend your safe lane tower. That's the next goal.
Get the deny?
Nah, dog. Keep this thing alive forever.
I mean, it's an Anti-Mage. You know he's going to go for the back door.
He's going to die then.
Is he?
Nope.
No.
I mean, feel like he's dead.
Well, he stuck around too long, unless...
That's not his fault.
He jukes them with the blink, and he does.
Nice. I thought that Limp was closer. I thought they were going to do like chains and Orchid and then
yeah,
bang,
I'm
bang.
surprised they didn't wait a second.
It's all good.
Pipe Loader Sorb next for Ergon. He needs a way to deal with the Spirit Vessel. You can bounce back the Reaper Scythe, Blitz, on a full HP Necrophos.
That's pretty sick.
That's the standard. Immersion gets caught out. Was that the combo? Looks like that was the Sonic Wave, plus the DD being used.
Every single time they run into somebody, it's a kill now.
Yeah.
So Spirit is on some sort of cat and mouse chase where none of their supports really have like instant stuns. And now Anti-Mage might be dead.
That Reaper Scythe isn't going to be enough, but the Fisher stun with the Orchid.
He
That'll
needed
be
Dazzle
enough.
there.
Dazzle, just a bit too late.
I don't know.
I mean, he's focused on his farming of his Necronomicon.
Yeah,
man.
for whatever reason, that death really bothered me because I feel like Anti-Mage knew that they were there. He just lost heroes. And if he wanted to show up there, I feel like Afterlife has to just sit behind him.
Yeah.
They can't all like Spirit's just all farming and saying this is fine. Like we'll win.
Yeah.
And maybe they will, but I also don't think this is how they'll do it.
Rolling Thunder with the cast. This was nicely timed.
Wow.
They'll get the chains done. Really well done. A mega kill streak for them for Afterlife. 651 gold.
Man, Misha is like kind of carried this game.
Yeah, he's had some really sick turnarounds. That one on Nico Baby.
I think he's
very
been in
important.
all but like one of their kills as a Witch Doctor 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been in 7 out of their 8 kills, and it's really just been him going insane with the casks.
Ergon's in trouble. He needs his team to help him out. He's, please, boys, for once, play around me, and they do get the shallow grave, so he's going to feel okay for now. He may take out from Nico Baby. Any damage left, the Spirit Vessel isn't going to be good enough. They actually healed
Where's
him up
Limp at?
just before the damage came in, and Limp,
He's dead.
he's
He's your
dead.
only way to kill this anti-mage. Where you at, Limp?
Well, another good fight for Team Spirit, finding it after the pick-off on the Queen of Pain. Zibe, he says, I want to turn into a core too, boys. Everyone's going to farm.
This is my jam.
Oh, I thought he had the Maelstrom queued up. Looks like it's now Lotus Orb. Disappointed. Do
Remember
some
what Puppy
digging,
said
dog.
yesterday?
Do some digging. That's a bounty rune. I guarantee it. If you dig right now, it's a bounty rune.
You know what I hate doing by accident is when I start digging and I accidentally cancel it.
And
That's
you
the
know
worst.
that. You know it was a bounty rune too.
Yeah.
Or
You
it was
know.
a much needed TP scroll.
It's always one or the other.
Yeah.
Limp, what you gonna do?
What you gonna do when Limb comes for you?
Oh no, why'd you
Orchid?
ditch him?
Shadow Strike. Okay, he's gonna come back though. Don't worry, brother. I won't leave you behind.
He shouldn't.
Scares him away a little bit. But
Oh,
Misha may
now
still
you
take
should.
out Nico Baby's gonna get the slight that
Poor
kills him.
Misha. He's trying. Oh, Courier died. With almost like, wait, what killed the
killed it?
Courier? I think the creeps killed it.
Yeah, I think they did.
The creeps had to have killed it.
Yeah. Well, that's awkward.
Sucks for Nico, baby.
But it's a big win for Team
That was straight up just like an Imclaw and his Deso. Yikes.
Oh, if you pop out on this, maybe they're too far away.
That's suicidal.
Hanskin has started to walk away, and Limp is a bit far too, so quickly kills the creep wave and poof. Into the corner of the map he goes. TP's bottom, and Animage will continue his run around the map. Is Alliance doing enough? Are they pressuring enough? I feel like it's kind of lit up on the gas the last 5 minutes.
I think they should have grown their lead right now.
Yeah. It's too bad they don't have a lineup that can do Roshan readily.
Yeah, they've been stuck at around this like 5 to 6K gold lead for some time now, for the past like 5 minutes, which means that this anti-mage is even farming. Because Alliance should have more on the map to farm.
Yeah.
Aghanim Scepter, second item by
Yeah.
Necrophos, have not seen that very often. It means that you have perma Ghost Shroud, and we talked about how anti-mage doesn't really kill this hero.
Yep.
Plus, I think it's good against... They almost all have physical. Pango is dead.
Got the Orchid onto Pango, so he is going to fall here. But Misha's going to go for the counter kill. Hanskin does manage to get off the Echo Slam, but the damage is too much
Get him
for
out.
him. Misha's
Get him
surrounded
out.
by trees,
No.
and Animage is trying to bail him out. He tried to cut a path open for him. Nico Baby is hunting for the aim right now, and he spotted him for a moment, but the blink is up yet again. And
That's a good
Animage-
teammate, though.
Yes,
He tried to get him out.
he tried.
That was...
A glyph being used to stop him from killing this creep wave because they want to get an objective out of this. And fortunately, with that glyph and the saved creep wave, they'll
Man.
manage to hit the tier 2.
That wasn't bad, though. Misha, again, just... He's really their only damage dealer right now. If Spirit end up winning this game, this will be one of the few big comebacks that I've seen in this patch,
Yeah.
where an enemy team has decided to match aggression with just farm. So far, we just haven't seen that strategy work out.
Mhm.
That's why I think that's part of the reason why not just the net worth change, where kill streaks give you more gold. than net worth, but I think the pace of the game is why Alchemist is back in the game and back in the meta so heavily.
Yeah.
Because if you need to win around this mark, nobody has more farm than he does at that point. You're like 2 items behind or ahead of any other carry.
And if you do die, then the
Who cares?
team net worth that you're ahead over the enemy, that's no longer a factor.
I saw
No
an alch
comeback
that
mechanism.
had almost the same net worth as the enemy 3 cores, give up 300 gold when he died yesterday, which I think is insane.
Yeah, that's pretty.
All right, so Anti-Mage now has Manta, so he cannot die to the Queen of Pain or the Ember Spirit by themselves. They have to go and kill him together.
Yeah, and which is really difficult because he mantas off, then he throws out the spell shield afterwards. What they really need is the Earthshaker. That will be more of the guarantee.
Well, I think
Urgon's going to
set
be
again.
chased down here. The Lotus Orb goes off on him, but no one is playing with the boy.
Someone's got to die to make this happen, baby.
I guess so.
You don't want to see how the eggs are made. Is that the phrase?
Yeah, something like that.
Sausage. Thank you, Slime. I believe that was Slime. I don't know why I said eggs.
I think you were mixing it with the other one. You got to crack a few eggs. to
Yeah,
make
I
an
think
omelet.
I messed up like 4 analogies in one.
Gotta crack a few eggs to make a sausage. It's 10-19, and that net worth lead, it's dwindled away a little bit, but Alliance will secure an objective here unless Team Spirit are gonna do something drastic. Immersion, oh, been blinked on, blinks away, and Hanskin's gonna try and chase him down. They wanna make sure that Immersion doesn't do something wild, like rolling into the
Don't do anything
pit.
crazy, buddy. They're chasing him hard.
Yeah, they really are, and he's doing a good job staying
This
one
is
step ahead
space.
of them, and
Look
this
at
is
bottom.
delaying
Yeah, they
the
had to go back.
Roshan. They had to stop it.
And now Anti-Mage is going to come forward. I imagine
It's low.
he left a Remnant, right? He had to have left a Remnant behind.
Yeah.
I think if anything, they camped the Remnant.
Oh, they're not going to go for it. Instead, they're going to try
Wait,
and go
what?
for the fast Roshan kill here. S4. He
There's
knows
no
his
way they're going to get
inside.
away with this. What are they
Echo
doing?
Slam, what are you doing?
What
They
are
just
you
jump inside the
doing?
pit. The Reaper's side is protected by the shallow grave. And Urgon, he does manage to snatch up the Aegis. So Animage got out, and Urgon claimed the Aegis. It wasn't the worst thing in the world,
It
but
was.
it could
They're
have been
gonna lose
so
4
much
heroes.
better.
I have no idea what the idea was there.
I don't know either, man.
Why not just camp the Remnant?
All right, guys, here's the play.
We'll all stack
we
up
all 5-man
in this, like,
inside the Roshan pit against
2,000 HP
Earthshaker.
Roche that they know is low. They saw the Remnant, surely, right? What was that? What was the plan there? This is not in moments of brilliance. This is not in this is
of
not in
brilliance.
moments of brilliance.
Brought to you by Intel.
This is
Well, Hanskin had a moment of brilliance, at least.
They saw the Remnant and they all just decided. I guess they forgot that Ember Spirit could just do this.
And they forgot Earthshaker was a hero?
I have no idea.
That Earthshaker benefited. He gets stronger the closer in proximity you are to your allies?
That was insane. That was straight up. I mean, it was cool.
But it was
You don't
insane.
get really good plays without seeing like some the team has to give it to you. You know, it takes 2 to tango. But yeah, straight up, that was
It takes
was
5.
not the play.
It takes 5 to make an Echo Slam. So
True.
well, as a result, that could have been the game changer, but instead Alliance have just solidified their lead now. Almost 9K, a pick off on Immersion here is going to be bailed out by the Shallow Grave, but there's probably going to be some point of damage that comes in. Guardian Greaves.
Oh, no,
I don't
he
know,
Lotus
the heals
Orbed
from the
the-
Dazzle is going to be good enough too.
He Lotus Orbed the wrong target though.
Yeah.
This anti-mage is trying real hard, friends. They've taken no Aegis, so he's just farming around. He's still top net worth. If anti-mage gets like 4 more minutes, he can carry this game.
Yeah. Shout out to Afterlife, though. That could have been a total disaster, but him getting off the Shallow Grave
yeah, the
onto
grave
the
is pretty
Animage,
big.
preventing the Reaper's Scythe from killing the AM was massive.
It did get him killed himself because he stuck around, but
Yeah.
you know, bigger priorities.
Gotta hold somebody's farm up. The Basher is almost done for the Animage, and he's got his Blink cooldown up, so he is now going to be all over the map. Faster and faster and faster. But Nico, baby, He doesn't want to let him do it. And this is, this is their ward.
Honestly,
Team Spirit, very smart.
If Anti-Mage's like friends aren't behind by like 20k, he might do this.
Manta, blink, which direction he goes. He goes down back to his ward area so he can see where everybody else is, and Hanskin's chasing after him, but
he's fine.
His blink takes a bit longer.
Also, Nico Baby's out of mana. So can't chase even if you wanted to. Would potentially die, actually.
Misha. Zibe, they're going to spot him here. Gets off the Maledict, but he's immediately orchided. So no chance for Death Ward, but Limp, he goes in. Echo Sam goes out, and they actually chain stun up direct. He's going to be able to blink away, yes, but the rest of his team not so lucky. He may try and go back in for the Mana Void opportunity against Limp. He knows he's rather low on mana after a couple of swipes earlier. And all those spells being used, he's thinking about it, but there's too many heroes here. He's going to back up, but he's going to run into Ember Spirit here. He burns him out of mana. Another blink away. Nico Baby not going to be able to pursue, but maybe somebody else can. Never mind. They're all just too slow to this level 20 Anti-Mage, man. He becomes so quick. And his movement around the map, just unstoppable. 11,000 net worth lead for Alliance, but when are they going to be able to crack open the base? Because they haven't even shut down some of these tier 2 towers yet. Can they just outscale the Anti-Mage?
If the rest of his team continues to die, yeah. Because they disable usually determines whether or not you can get your damage off. Like, what's the point of having all this net worth if you have no stuns and they'll just kite you and kill you anyways?
So, you know, we've got Hanskin building up a Shadow Blade, a Scythe of Vice for the Necrophos. Like, we're going to have a wealth of disables for Alliance, whereas the side of Team Spirit, it's looking at their Anti-Mage and hoping for the best.
This 5 Nature's Prophet almost has a Hex, and that would be your way to deal with him. Like, the more disables you get on Alliance, the easier you're making life for yourself.
Okay, so his Shadow Blade may cut into the Sentry here. Yeah, he's going to run if he's spotted by it now. And Anti-Mage actually goes for a blink on top of him, but doesn't get the bash. Quickly deals with the Observer Ward, though. Alliance will know about that Tinker Ward, though. So they'll try and deal with it in their own due time. So Team Spirit going to rapidly move to the other side of the map here, and really need to put a stop to this Furion who keeps on pushing all the waves in. They're finally going to be able to get him. Paralyzing Cask, and he's all out of mana. Not all out of health. As Direct uses his Mana Void.
Pretty good gold, though.
365? Yeah, not bad. Again, he almost has the same amount of farm as Afterlife, so. Hanskin, Shadow Blade up, right on top of the Anti-Mage. Is going to be able to lead off with the Fissure. The Reaper Scythe going up, but they didn't have the damage. The Shallow Grave did go down. That's why Hanskin retreated, knowing they weren't going to kill the AM anyway. He resets. That Rolling Thunder, though, doing so much work, has done a lot of damage to S4, and he's just dead. Maledict onto Nico Baby as well, so he has to play a little bit back, but Limp is just going to charge forward. But they keep on healing up the AM more and more and more. Afterlife now pops the Shallow Grave on himself and TP's away. But Derek, he's going to go for the Limp, doesn't get a bash. Unfortunately, no luck there. I think his Mana Void's coming up in a few seconds' time, but another 15 for him. And I'm not sure if he can help out. Urgon here is going to be chased down. Hanskin gets in front of him, chain stuns, and Immersion. If he's not careful, he's getting caught as well. Yep. He's got too close to them. Limp immediately looked for more and found a Pangolier.
And I think they might have been able to win that fight, but Anti-Mage got way too low. He got clipped barely at the edge of that Queen of Pain ulti. That wasn't even going for him. Maybe if he doesn't get hit by that, he can re-engage.
Tad unfortunate for him. He does almost have a big stat item, though. He's going for Scotty, which, not the Abyssal, which I'm a bit surprised. Just because I thought maybe he needed the extra lockdown. It did cost them a buyback from Zibe, though. So it's not much, but it's something for Team Spirit to hold on to.
That was almost his Hex, too, on Zibe.
Yeah.
Although he's almost got it again, just from like the sheer amount of staying alive he's doing.
Yeah, and his ultimate. He's got to cast it now to finish up that Scythe. So there it is. Anti-Mage, one more thing he has to worry about here. And I am not convinced he's going to be able to do it alone. S4 trying to build some defensive items now with the 4-staff pickup. He's having a hard time in these fights. Shivas for Ergon. Okay. I'll help slow down the damage.
Oh, by the way, when we were in the replay, apparently Anti-Mage apparently died. And we just didn't see it.
Huh?
You know, after the Roche kill?
Oh, really?
Yeah. And they cut to a...
Oh, no. Well, that would explain why he's not farther ahead.
Yes.
He's died twice. Oh, man. Rough times. Spell Shield blink away, but the rest of his team isn't as agile as young Anti-Mage. He's going to be chained up before he can blink on a Nico Baby. He really wants to go for that kill. Nico Baby trying to protect himself by throwing out, but Dyrek, where's he going? He's looking for somebody else here, while the rest of Alliance just keeps on dancing away from him and focusing on the back line of Team Spirit. They've already killed the Witch Doctor. Now they're going for Ergon, and Anti-Mage is just running around. I think he realizes that this fight is already over. He's just going to go and cut some creep waves where he can. But Nico Baby, he's going to try and set up on him. Where's the Anti-Mage going to blink? They immediately scythe onto him. They follow it up with the Fissure. Sonic Wave now. And follow-up stun from there. Nico Baby gets the godlike. Anti-Mage trying to push his luck a bit too much there. Running down the mid lane. They only lost the Witch Doctor earlier. So Nico Baby getting 700 gold off of that.
They're just getting killed non-stop. Just way too much pressure on the map, and I think honestly they could have maybe done this if it wasn't for that weird Roche fight that they decided to take.
Yeah.
Where they got wiped.
Because an AM is not like, he's not the quintessential late game carry, right? He reaches a certain point of power, and unless you've got a lineup that can scale with him, he can get outscaled, as you're seeing from Alliance, just sheerly through net worth and items that can control the Anti-Mage. They've got answers. They've got plenty of them. A second Roshan. And they've got 20 seconds to do it. But their lineup, again, kind of sucks at it. So, feeling like they don't have enough time. I'm going to back up, grab this double damage rune. Meanwhile, 4-man smoke up while the Anti-Mage is still dead, presuming he's going to try and join them as quick as possible, but Alliance is going to be able to find them first. He does have the Paralyzing Cask out onto Hanskin. Oh, up on the high ground, a Scythe of Ice popped onto Immersion. He's trying to get a good chain stun here onto one of these heroes, but he can't get off the cliff so easily. He opts down now, but Reaper's Scythe will finish him off pretty easily. Immediately buys back, but here comes Dyrek. He's going to try and go for it, but he's already been orchided up and is forced to use his Manta and blink away. Limp does too much damage with his DD. Ergon placing himself on the front lines, tries to go for the kill on S4, but he healed up. That Mana Void wasn't quite enough, and now Dyrek needs help. He does manage to get a jump in from Immersion. Chain setting up Nico Baby, and they're keeping Dyrek alive. The Anti-Mage should be able to blink away now. He's waiting for his time to be able to go back in on a Nico Baby. Does
That's
manage
a
to get
godlike
the
spree
bash
from
there. A godlike spree, 1,000 gold there. A bash on Zibe would secure a third kill, but they don't get it. Boy, this Anti-Mage cannot get the bashes when he calls for them.
If they could have killed S4 too, maybe that could have been a huge turning point. But Roshan is up.
Yeah, Roshan is up. And Alliance, Team Spirit won't know this, but Alliance does not have buyback on these heroes. The Ember Spirit due to 100 gold and Hanskin due to 200. And they think to themselves, if we can just rush it this time around, Hanskin won't be there to stop us, but he may be able to TP onto the shrine to S4. He's going to try and jump in and cause some chaos here. Limp is going to follow it up. He's
got the 25 fear talent
there with the fear. That's going to do a lot of work here. They already managed to get the side device as well as the Orchid onto the Anti-Mage. They haven't finished up the Necrophos yet either. Dyrek, he's going to play the back line a little bit, just slowly finish off S4. And now jumping back in, goes straight for Zibe, but he's got to be careful of Hanskin. Once again, the fear pushes him into Hanskin for the follow-up stun. The Chan Totem, Zibe is going to be hit by the Rolling Thunder. Back and forth, they got a kill on this support. He's dead, and they know he doesn't have buyback. And Nico Baby, he surely would have been bought back if he had it. 10 more seconds left.
That's enough time to go for this Roshan, but Hanskin, he's lurking up to the north. He wants to be able to have a repeat. He wants a reprisal from before. A Fisher goes out. Shiva, blink in, Echo Slam out, but Roshan's not quite low enough. They can't finish it up. S4 is going to jump in, try and do the finishing blow here with Limp going out. The fear, it took him out of the Roshan pit. A blink in, he grabs the Aegis. Limp, he gets it. Thief in the night once again. He snatches it away, and now he's going to try and get out, but he turns and fights. He has no mana, so he's fine with dying here. He needs that refresh. Nico Baby, he'll look to be able to jump in as well, helping out his ally in this fight, but now he's out of mana. Direk is going to stay on top of him. Nico Baby has no way out, and Limp, he's going to be chased down by the Animage as well. Spores fierced away. Derek's not going to be able to chase him. He has no idea where that Queen of Pain went, but they don't need to know. What they know is where the Dire base is. We're 4 dead on the side of Alliance. This is an opportunity to do some serious damage in those objectives, and maybe even go for Throne. We'll see.
Whoever seems to claim the Aegis loses the fight right after. Because you saw them hard commit to that on Alliance, but it was way too costly. And this Anti-Mage hurts now. He's got a full Scotty.
And he's tanky, too.
Yeah, you saw that the Ember Spirit, he gets bashed once, loses all his mana. Doesn't matter that he has Linken's. He dies in 2 seconds. And the first team to get Rax is actually going to be Alliance. They decided to go all in for that Roche play. And Team Spirit just outfought them there. They weren't really able to focus down anyone, and they got outlasted.
Back from Nico Baby. They're going to try and catch him with a Fisher here. Hanskin hit the enchant.
But they don't have Echo.
Nice rolling thunder, and that's chaining up Nico Baby. He's just
That's
dead.
his buyback.
3 times in a row, and Immersion makes the big boy play to finish off this game potentially, as they now get the follow-up stun on his Zibe as well. One more stun would do the trick here, but Limp has pushed back the Animage. Now has to blink himself away to home base, but he's not going to make it. Derek stays on top of him, and he's dead now. Buyback from him. But they know that Ember Spirit is dead for a minute and a half. Good time to clean up these barracks. There's still that tier 2 in the top lane.
And Dazzle's coming here.
If they want to end this game, they're going to have to go for the tier 4s.
I think they still have time to get Megas. Like, they can go all the way top because there's a creep wave there. Zibe, if anything, should just push that lane out.
But Team Spirit, they say, we're right here. We're not going to run all the way to that top lane. Let's just go for the 4s. Let's just go for the Ancient.
They only have 1 buyback, and it's on Nature's Prophet, who's their 5 position. And they've got to make a play here. There's 2 siege wagons.
Zibe's like trying to cut the creep wave, but there's more than enough creeps inside the base right now. Tier 4s, they're both down. They need Zibe to be able to come into this one because he's the only one who have buyback here. Limp, he's been jumped on. The mana, he's almost out. He's going to be able to get a blink away, but Derek tries to chase him down as long as Ergon. Actually, Derek's just going for the Ancient at this point. He says, I push him back to the fountain, and that's good enough. A Rolling Thunder nails both of them. A beautiful setup with a Mana Void. Blink back, a repeat for him, interrupting the Enchant Totem combination as well. And Alliance have been taken out in this game 1. They held the lead for a solid 35 minutes, but in the end, we're not able to close it out, and Team Spirit with the big comeback.
They were leading this game for like 95% or more of this game.
Yeah.
Then they were up like 11K, and that all got wiped out at that Roche fight.
I mean, 5 minutes ago, they were up by 12K. They just won that team fight.
They were up 12K. That lead just...
It's just gone.
Like 4 buybacks later.
One Roshan fight. One terrible Roshan fight.
Oh my god.
Hey, Dota's a complicated game, and the decisions you make can change your fate. Well, that's going to be it for game 1. An exciting one at that. See what happens with game 2 and 3. Back to the panel.
Thank you, Cap and Blitz. Fantastic cast for game number 1. And what an intriguing game to start things off for today. Welcome back, Grant and BSJ. Now, you guys picked one team each, but I'm sure neither of you were expecting it to go the way it did. That was Alliance taking control for, you know, as Blitz said, like 90-95% of that game. And then what, 2 little skirmishes, and suddenly the whole thing changes.
Yeah, I don't know. They just, that Roche fight, as he said, you die, you lose it, and you're like, well, you know what? They have the Aegis. We'll take another fight, and then Nico Baby just dies twice in a matter of 15 seconds on that Ember, and the game just kind of ends. Obviously, there's more to it, but that's how it ended.
The important thing about this last pick for people trying to learn is the carry role is when you have these heroes like Dazzle and like Bristleback, they're not going to carry you in fights. They're going to cause a lot of disruption, and they're going to buy a lot of auras, and they're going to enable some hero. But they have absolutely no stuns, and they have absolutely no mobility. So what that means is you have to pick a hero that does it all. That's why I proposed Alchemist, but Anti-Mage fits that bill just fine. And you see in a normal game this late on when Anti-Mage is the highest net worth in the game, but all the rest of his team is in poverty mode virtually, you're not going to win. But in this type of game, because of the lineup that Team Spirit has, you're able to carry the game solo as anti-mage.
Yep.
And it's not something where, like, that's what I saw in the draft, and for me it's like I just didn't believe either of these teams could play perfect Dota.
Yeah.
So I do think Alliance's draft was probably better, but in terms of, like, if this was Tier 1 team versus Tier 1 team, I really think Alliance would have won this game. But both teams are still ironing out the kinks. You know, there's new rosters for both sides. They were talking about that before the game for Team Spirit, and I think this was just a really back-and-forth game. Some really cool plays here and there at the Roche Pit, some sloppy plays here and there across the board for both teams. And at the end of the day, Anti-Mage with a Dazzle and Bristle, all these auras, it's so much sustain. It's so hard to bring them down, especially when your cores are Ember, Queen of Pain, and Necrophos as the game goes on.
Yeah, and it felt like, I mean, the game was pretty much decided. Obviously, that first Roche fight is like, yo, what is Team Spirit doing? They kind of threw it away, and then Alliance was like, well, we can show you the true way to lose a Roche and throw it away. No, it was a fun game because of that, you know. Roche fights are fun. You have an Earthshaker on one team, you have a Bristleback and a Pango on the other. Like, it kind of just who gets that first jump and the chaos, because obviously even Secret doesn't play perfect, like, a full game, and you make a couple of mistakes. It's how you punish those mistakes that's the biggest, and I think the decision-making late game from Spirit to go from lane to lane to get those Raxes, punish Nico Baby on the buyback.
I thought the game was over here. I thought they lost. Like, I thought Team Spirit was going to lose the game at this very moment. Alliance did all the things they had to do in terms of they built the good items on Ember. I think the catch items on heroes like Nature's Prophet were really important, and just the margin of error against Anti-Mage at this stage in the game is just so small. I'm sure all of us who play Dota have been in this spot before where you get late game with primarily magic damage lineup against an Anti-Mage, and you're like, this guy doesn't die, and then you lose.
And also, I want to say the Witch Doctor, I haven't been a fan of it much, but if you're fighting at Roche this many times, like he stunned 3 people for like 3 seconds each during this fight with the cask. The Maledict hit on 3 people as well. I don't know. The Witch Doctor looked good. If you're playing a game like this, I'm loving the Witch Doctor.
Yeah, Team Spirit's lineup just oozes. Like team fight that loves to just keep going and going and going. You know, Bristle.
Dazzle Bristle,
Dazzle Bristle, keep the stacks going. Witch Doctor, more healed and more Maledict potential, more coconut bouncing. Lots of choke point fighting, too. Certainly if it's going to be primarily happening around the Roche Pit, like, it's all in one spot.
Witch Doctor.
They love that. So, you know, is that just a victim of circumstance with how the game just naturally unravels for Alliance? Or did Alliance need to try to pull objectives elsewhere? Maybe don't consider Roche, take the fight more to the side of Spirit. Like, I didn't feel like, and it was mentioned briefly in the cast, like, Alliance had built a pretty good advantage and surplus. Could they have done something a bit different to push that advantage across the river and start removing real estate away from Anti-Mage?
It's tough because you need 3 or 4 heroes to kill them. Yeah, you have a lot of disables. You have a decent amount of catch with the Ember Chains, the Earthshaker. You end up buying a Sheepstick on the Nature's Prophet, but that's the problem, is if you have to bring 3 or 4 heroes to kill him, and he's a split-pushing hero.
And you don't get him even once.
Yeah, it's like...
It's hard.
That's the nature of the weakness of their lineup, and I think Team Spirit did a great job of capitalizing on it, but I really do think this game just boiled down to a few crucial mistakes to miss the timing window that Alliance needed, and even like the couple times that like the Earthshaker and the Ember were chasing Anti-Mage in the trees, he placed a really good ward to give himself the information. That kind of wasted time. It's giving a lot of farm to the other heroes on Team Spirit. Like, you're effectively stalling out the game. They do win late game here with an Anti-Mage. Usually Anti-Mage is not the hard carry, but he has so many enablers, and they don't really have a hard late gamer on the side of Alliance, and I think the game just dragged out a little bit too long.
Yeah, and like you said, I don't know. That I love how they played it with the 4 protect 1-ish. Just the Dazzle Bristle is like a perfect thing because, as you said, they just weren't dying. They were dying, but it took them like a minute to get these kills instead of like 20 seconds. And if you have those extra 30 to 40 seconds to suffocate the aim, like you said, it is easier because they're dragging it out. I don't know. I think the Dazzle and Bristle for me are like these co-MVPs because they dragged out. They didn't look the best. They didn't look like MVPs, but they played like it.
All right, well, thank you, gentlemen, for the breakdown in game number 1. We're going to cut to a break. When we come back, time for game number 2 of Alliance versus Team Spirit.
My name is Jordan Gilbert, aka Nothing.
Hi, my name is Sue Lee. My handle is Smix. I think it's important for these initiatives to happen. Empathy really, really goes a long way, and it always means so much to us, and I think that's where initiatives like this really help.
I encourage everyone in the community, anytime they see bullying, anytime they see someone getting called names, I encourage you to step up and say something.
Good luck, have fun.
Good luck, have fun.
Mysterious shadow sightings all around the city. According to experts, the origin of these shadows is
You leave it to me. I'll get your taxes in an okay place.
What?
Well, just as soon as my audit is over. This gets my undivided attention.
Take a lot of trips to the islands, Bill.
Pretty great, right? Oh, Phil's legally dead. Fell off a boat. Going by Dennis now. Solari. Long story. Then we got, oh, no. You're not going to want to see this.
I don't think this is going to work.
Just okay is not okay. AT&T has America's best network, now with our best plans at our best prices, starting at $35 a line for 4 lines, new from AT&T.
Everybody loves an underdog. Who needs to be liked?
Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel. Victory in a can.
ESL One Los Angeles is brought to you in part by Intel, Mercedes-Benz, AT&T, Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, and GG Bet.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. I know these days it feels like you don't have much to do. You're inside looking around, but don't worry, ESL has your back with ESL One LA. More online Dota to come. Another full day of action. I'm Dakota, joined by the brilliant scientist Grant and Banana Slam Jam. I don't even want to try and make a title for you over there. So, gentlemen, here we are. Game number 2,
Yep.
Alliance versus Team Spirit. If you're just tuning in, it is Spirit who managed to take game number 1. Alliance, for the most part, had the advantage, but, don't count these guys out. They had the anti-mage, they had the plan, and they were able to execute.
Yeah, they were, and we talked about we just wanted to see a good game that wasn't completely decided by the draft. Me and BSJ being split on the draft and then seeing a good 42-minute game. I think we did see that. Instead, we saw some, late game mistakes, but rather that than draft, right? Like, just knowing a team's going to win from the beginning, it's good to see already from Alliance.
Yeah, absolutely. Alliance drafted really strong lanes. They expected to win their lanes, which they did. And then Team Spirit obviously had the superior late game. So very standard, dynamic to both drafts, win conditions, etc. And going into game 2, I think Alliance is – I don't think they're upset about that first loss. Like, yeah, they're not happy they lost.
Happy, yeah.
But, like, I don't think – that game is indicative of them feeling like, hey, Team Spirit is better than us, or we're, whatever. I think they're going to come back strong game 2, and I look forward to seeing, like, if the dynamic of the draft changes. Like, is Team Spirit going to like to go for the late game strat again, or is Alliance going to potentially, maybe give up about a little bit on the laning stage strength and draft a bit of the late game? Because when you have Co-op, Ember, and Necro, that's like mid-game. That's, all that screams. Yeah.
I do think maybe you think about banning the Pango. I know it's like not the biggest one, but Immersion, legitimately, I believe he's top 3 in the world, at least at 4 Pango as well. And the dude, he spams it in pubs, and you're just gonna give it to him for free. Like, I don't know. I think that's one of the heroes you look at, because Teamfight Control, he was actually playing it well in lane. He didn't even get lucky shot procs. He could have had 2 to 3 more kills, and he was getting really unlucky. So I'd watch out for that one.
Yeah, for sure. We'll see if the banning phase early on is going to get changed up while we wait for the draft. I have a interesting question here I'll pose for Alliance. Let's say they're a sandwich, Grant.
Yeah.
All right, and you got a sandwich made of meat and pickles and condiments and buns.
Yeah.
Who on this team would be what component of the Alliance sandwich here? Who's the meat? Who's the buns? Who's just the sesame seed?
Let's build this together, BSJ. Nico Baby seems to be the meat, right? Like, he is pretty much what everyone loves, and everyone loves the meat in a sandwich, and he's kind of he's almost always their win condition, right? Like, Alliance always has Nico Baby as their win condition, so I'd put him as the meat.
I'd put Limp as the Chipotle ranch dressing.
Yeah, because sometimes it's amazing, but if you save it for the next day, aka the late game, it gets a little soggy.
You can get by with a meat sandwich, but it wouldn't be that good.
Yeah, it wouldn't be dry. Exactly.
Yeah. It might taste a little aftertaste.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Now, how do we close off this sandwich here? You got buns still in the mix, and maybe some seasoning?
I'd say Loda's the buns.
The Loda buns.
Hold the team together.
That's nice. I like that.
And then S4 is the.
He's new. What's like new to a sandwich? What's like fresh on? What do the hipsters put on sandwiches nowadays?
Olive with the toothpick on top.
He's the toothpick.
The toothpick olive that they put on top.
And it's like it's kind of holding it together because he's the captain.
There you go.
I like it.
What a sandwich.
What about Hanskin though? We can't just leave him out
you can't forget
that.
Hanskin. Is he the salt and pepper? Is he? Because you already have the dressing. You had the meat.
He's
cheese.
kind of like the cheese, tomatoes, and lettuce all combined. Right? It's like that
good
thing
old
you just
reliable.
add.
You have to have the pros to feel good.
Yeah, exactly.
Good old reliable, I think, is what we're going with there.
Yeah. Awesome. I hope that we get the opportunity to make a Spirit sandwich in the future.
Yeah.
But for now, we have a draft.
Sounds like a very
digest.
delicious Alliance sandwich there. That I'm now a little bit hungrier than I was
but what if
prior to.
we don't know yet what kind of meat it is? It could be delicious prime rib. It could be yams.
True.
We have to wait and see.
Yams, a yam sandwich.
I don't know, like a meat in a can. Just you got to see what kind of meat we're gonna get here.
And I'm curious to see what they they banned the bristleback this time. That was also the first game I've seen just Ember straight up. He went godlike, but I don't know. It just. Yeah, they banned it out anyways. Okay, so they were worried about it. Yeah, so Coddle, Ember, Bristle gone. Death Prophet. I still don't know about Death Prophet. I still think it's a good hero, but it's definitely fallen down the list. But the problem is, if that hero gets ahead, it's still one of the best heroes at just doing everything.
I saw that Death Prophet yesterday with the Holy Locket build-up. What did you guys think about that?
Holy Locket for me is like the heal hero luxury item.
Doesn't it not work? I believe I actually looked back at it, and Holy Locket on DP doesn't work because it's heal, like how it's worded, it does not work, even with
on
your Spirit Siphon.
Really?
Yeah, I believe so. I'd have to look it up
that
again.
as well, and so when I saw it, I was like, maybe I'm
and
wrong.
we talked about it. Yeah, because Skeeter did it, and we looked it up, and it was like, it doesn't work. And even Skeeter's like, well, whoops, I didn't know that. So I believe, now that I look back at that, I didn't realize he got that yesterday. And
he did do that.
Yeah,
So
it made me second guess, because I thought I'd heard the same thing.
Yeah,
Grant,
I believe it doesn't. I will get back to you on that one,
I'm not aware
too.
of that specific mechanic. I have not seen or researched Holy Locket.
The
ever.
mechanics?
Yeah.
Come on, BSJ, get your Holy Locket
There was
mechanics.
something in the patch that said this is no longer defined as healing, and I can't remember if that was Soul Siphon or something else, and that would affect, obviously, Holy Locket in that case. All right, Nature's Prophet removed. No surprises there. He's seeming like the new meta hero here now.
Yes, they had first pick, and they took him first pick last game, so obviously they thought maybe either it didn't play well with their lineup or they just want to go a completely different way.
Maybe they think it's just a good second pick as well. Like they're scared of the fact that it's like a flex pick, sets up your lanes. In second pick, your goal is to just not lose your lanes and then have the win condition last pick.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we saw as the dynamic.
Everyone has to do, yeah.
We do see this again in terms of Alliance first pick, Team Spirit second pick. They have swapped up sides as opposed to last game, but yeah, I will say that that's usually the dynamic of first and second pick. And Team Spirit, I really liked their last pick last game. Even though Anti-Mage is not all that meta, I think they were just like, hey, man, we got a bunch of heals, we got a bunch of sustain. What are you going to carry us with?
Yeah.
And then
you let him choose, and of course the carry's going to be like, Anti-Mage, you know every carry wants to play, and it ends up working out. Especially because it is your younger, newer player. So in that game one, that's a ton of confidence. You win with, as BSJ says, a pretty non-meta hero.
Yeah. Now, in the first phase of bans in the previous game, I believe Alliance banned Meepo.
Yeah, they
did. This is very early to say, but that option to cheese is out there and could be accidentally overlooked.
Yep, gotta watch out. I'm still can't believe this Chen hero, man. It's still getting banned, still getting first picked.
Yeah.
It's
hot and
we
cold.
don't believe on it, yeah.
In that 3 position, it was amazing.
Yeah, 33.
33 owned with it.
Yeah. 33 makes the micro heroes work in ways that
anything.
The vacuum centaur, like 4-man stun or whatever.
Okay, there's the Phoenix.
Mirana? Is it possible?
I feel like Mirana Mars, kind of what I like, especially at CIS, right? CIS is the kings of Mirana at the moment, so I wouldn't doubt that.
Yeah, I know it always was mentioned in the past, like Snapfire, but you know, we haven't really seen Snapfire's counter ability that great against Phoenix. Maybe it's more situational, it seems, because obviously you got to be pretty close to the egg to make it happen. But these teams have been gobbling up Sapphire
they do
when available, and there it is. So they decided to go that road. What's the secondary, though?
It is. They're going to – I'm almost positive they will take it every first phase if you don't ban it. Immersion is that kind of guy who will do that.
Do you consider something like the Puck here? Like the traditional counters to the Pangolier?
And he's pretty good against Snapfire as well. I like Puck.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Control.
I wouldn't mind if... I think it's
so.
fine that you pick Pango. It's not a response to Phoenix directly. You already have the Snapfire, which we've talked about. It's kind of hit or miss against Phoenix exactly, but I'm a pretty huge advocate of this pick addressing the other two heroes or just being really good with your, like, that's the combo, right? Phoenix Mars.
Yeah.
Very reliable.
Yeah.
You haven't seen your safe lane duo at all. Your carry. You've seen the Snapfire, and I think that's probably a decent lane matchup for Mars. He doesn't actually get that close to you for a melee hero.
Yeah,
for the scatter blast. You are, what is Mars's range? Like 250 or 300?
And something
he has a
weird
longer than
spear,
melee range. He's kind of like Monkey King. And then obviously you mainly use your God's Rebuke and stuff to get good trades.
Yep. Funny, you know, it doesn't really matter too much, but in Dota 1, any hero that had above 128 attack range was considered range, and Pudge had 150, so if you bought Lifesteal and it was like different for ranged and melee, he would get the ranged one. I don't know. I always just found that funny. Like if you had that in Dota 2, like Mars and Monkey King would have been the same. I don't know. Silly stuff. But Phoenix Mars, good opening.
I remember in Dota 1 when you got the life fleets. It just changed your attack
The attack animation completely. Everyone loved that too.
So
It just
random.
looked different. Yeah.
That's funny.
That was. I mean, orb effects are just gone in Dota pretty much. So rest in peace.
And
orbs.
Agnum effects, right? Kind of missed that a bit. When you got an Agnum, something special would change about you, or they'd have a new cosmetic.
Didn't that happen
suddenly.
in Dota too? I thought like Earthshaker got some below him. It used to. Maybe they just
No,
gave up
every
on
hero
that?
now has the little ring below them.
They do have the
It's
ring.
just
okay.
a ring.
Yeah.
It used to be something more like, you know, Zeus would have like extra lightning on his hands or something like that.
Yeah, every hero has the same thing, but I do like that they added that just because
Now you kind of know at
you
least.
know you can see the hero and know they have an axe scepter.
Wow, they banned the Juggernaut.
Unless it's
out.
Arteezy, where it's like Naga's on fire, and he
Oh,
also
yeah, and
has
you're like-
the mortal item from TI where it's surrounding his.
He has like burning spears bloodlust permanently, and you're actually just so confused.
Right,
Earth
Team
Spirit.
Spirit,
Whoa,
Earth
whoa.
Spirit.
So okay, I think that's an immersion here. So it looks like immersion's gonna go to the Earth Spirit, which means Pango will go to a core role.
2 or 3. It can be either.
Unless it's a mid-Earth Spirit. We're waiting.
That's a lot of information to give
Bane
away, though. I think
into
with that
Earth
pick,
Spirit.
I wouldn't have minded.
The Bane's intriguing in its own right. It's not like you need that BKB piercing lockdown at the moment, I guess.
Yeah, it's good versus Pango, obviously. This might just be straight up, yo, Bane, your job
PL?
this game, grab Pango.
PL or Slark stand out to me here. I don't love Slark, but it's very good against Bane, and so is PL. And then it's also decent against Mars. Any hero that can get out of Arena and is also not susceptible to Fiend's Grip, I think, is their natural option right now. I don't think you want to pick your mid